So here's another one that regards pursuit. I want to pursue my wife, but sometimes she vents in conversations to the point where I lose interest. How do I continue the dialogue process? How do I respond? So that's a good question. Like when things get really hard conversationally, how does a man stand strong to do that?
Well, from this question, there's two kinds of venting. One is about the person you're talking to, and one is about other things. So please understand that the woman is a human being, and she is the closest human being to you, and she's also a daughter of Christ. So God listens to her every word, and if you had a daughter or even a child and they were pouring out their heart to somebody or talking to somebody and that person was just scrolling or not paying attention or losing focus or whatever, losing attention, it would hurt you to see your child go through that. And so imagine God feels that way about us, and vice versa. Sometimes he rattles on about stuff, but I listen and I remember it. And one of our biggest things is sometimes he doesn't remember things because he zoned out or whatever with distractions. So the first thing is you need to put away the phone, because that's probably the biggest obstacle there is the phone. And he'll try to, like, we'll be talking about something and let's ask Siri that, and he'll ask Siri that, but he just brought the phone in.
I'm on the phone all day long with my work, and so it's a go-to for me.
And
it's
he
terrible.
can see emails and texts that came in when he picks up that thing. So now you've just invited other things into this conversation.
Another
so
woman,
put the phone
Siri.
away.
Yeah.
Put the phone away. At nighttime, put some boundaries on it or whatever. But and then you need to look at her in the eyes. It's easier to zone off if you're not looking at her in the eyes. That was one of my complaints early on. I'd be sitting there talking to him like this, and he'd be facing the other direction. Drove me nuts. And so looking her in the eyes, and then look at her facial expression. The woman is the emotional. She's the weaker vessel, which means fragile, does not mean weak in strength, although men are typically stronger. But that's another conversation for later too. But she's got emotion. And you know what? God created emotion. This is what God took out of Adam, unfortunately, because I feel like Adam doesn't have a lot of emotion.
Yeah, no, Adam does not. Not this Adam, I don't know.
Well, and you've learned to suppress it, but so look at the expression and try to meet there with her, with that. I promise you that when she gets through whatever she's processing, it'll be better than if you make her keep it stuffed down. And that's what typically happens is, like when you know that he's not paying attention and he gets up to get a drink of water, or he goes to the bathroom, or he has to fix the pool pump or whatever the thing is, and it's always something, and I'm just constantly waiting there. And so
maybe your husband drifts off. Guys, have you ever drifted off when your wife is explaining something and it's like you're just in la-la world? I want to say this is not scripted at all, but you might want to tell your wife, hey, I lost track of the conversation. Don't let her notice it first, because you're a loser if she does. But if you realize you're drifting off, be honest with her and say, listen, I lost track of that. Can you give me a minute just to gather my thoughts and rewind a little bit and let me get back in this conversation? Right. Confess your sins to one another, right?
Well, and specifically if she's venting about you, there's some things you should definitely not do.
Yeah.
You should not defend yourself. You should not rationalize what you did. You should not explain that what you did was right because of whatever. You should not avoid the conversation, ignore her. There's blame shift, gaslight, run away. Let me go. I go to the bathroom. All these things, or try to disregard it.
The baby needs something. The dog needs to go out. I forgot to put the water on.
Yeah, there's always
for
something.
The pot of coffee in the morning.
Making
there's always
excuses.
A reason.
I mean, you guys are good at that. You go to play golf or whatever, and you don't do well, and there's always like the weather or the heat or the rain or
whatever.
You were tired, you didn't sleep well, whatever. But you don't need that. And honestly, We just had a little bit of argument on our anniversary weekend, and he forgot this because we've had this conversation before. But the main thing that you need to do is ask questions like, or don't even ask questions. Say, "Wow, I can see how I made you feel that way," or I can see how angry you are. And
Instead of saying something like, "Well, I did that because I looked at this and did that," which is defensive.
that must have
Or,
been terrifying.
"I thought you told me to do this," which is gaslighting.
I can see how that would have
But
hurt you.
It's like, I can see how you.
Or the other thing is
It's hard.
apologizing. I mean, his apologies don't mean anything. "I'm sorry, I won't do that again." Try to fix it. Fixing it is also, don't do it.
Yeah, you have to live it.
She just wants
So-
to be seen.
Yeah.
She wants you to see her, and she wants you to think of her, and she wants you to know what she's saying. So if you blow her off too fast, she might repeat it a few times.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, she's nagging. Well, yeah, the best way to get rid of a nag is just to listen and do whatever it needs to be done.